and welcome back to another video here for round 5 of Transnation Esports Season 7 for the Monaco Grand Prix, the duel in the Formula 1 crown. Going into this one, I messed up a bit and forgot to save the video from qualifying, so unfortunately don't have any footage from that. But before we look at the results from qualifying, I'm going to have a look at the standings here now, and as you can see, Kyle leads the way ahead of Thierry, with Scotty just behind in P3 and myself down in P7. So it hasn't really been the best start to the season, but still plenty of time to make up for that. And as we look at the constructor standings, then Red Bull lead the way ahead of myself and Joe in the Williams. And then Racing Point, with pretty much all the points being scored by Kyle at the moment, just behind the two of us, and very close in the constructor standings. And it'll be interesting to see for how long Kyle can stay near the top with Racing Point. But going on to this race now, going to show the results from qualifying, and as you can see, Harry in the Red Bull takes pole with myself in second, just 0.027 seconds behind. So very close qualifying. And then Freddie, the winner from the last race, just behind us in third, with teammate Joe down in P7. So looking good going into this one, near the front where you really need to be in Monaco, as we all know it's near to impossible to overtake. But as we go now to look at the strategy, going to be a relatively simple soft to medium. Don't want to be making any more stops than you need to around here, because as I said, overtaking's pretty hard. And you can see there, anyone that from 10th down is starting on the medium tyres. So if there's a safety car after the soft tyres pit, could be beneficial for them. But as we go to the 5 red lights now ahead of the Monaco Grand Prix, the lights go out and I get a very good start compared to Harry, and into Sandoval we're side by side with the Red Bull around the outside. But I decided to think better of that, trying to hold it around the outside and slip back into P2. I didn't want to risk Harry going wide and me ending up being in the barrier with some wing damage, as into Mirabel we're still all pretty close, and surprisingly no yellow flags or safety car yet, which it's not really expect in Monaco in lap 1. But in the chicane then there's a yellow flag for cars just going slowly, I thought, but the virtual safety car is called out. I think there might have been someone who got a bit of damage there, so virtual safety car is out and onto the end of lap 1, then through the final corner. Virtual safety car is ending, and yeah, pretty good start. Don't lose too much time to the cars around us, and pretty much now it's just about trying to stay close to Harry, keep Freddie behind, and trying not to get any damage or any warnings for track limits, which is surprisingly easy to do here. There's a few corners like the chicane here where you can pretty easily cut. On to lap 5 then, through to back. This is a section of the track where I was actually losing a lot of time, because I was taking it pretty easy through the swimming pool chicane. In qualifying it's easily flat, but during the regional races I saw a few drivers and they were lifting off going through there just to keep it a bit safer, because I experienced it in the regional race where just hitting the curve the wrong way and back end comes around and you end up in the wall. On to lap 7, and a few laps later you can see CeeLo has retired from the race. As we go through to back here, he actually retired at the swimming pool chicane, and Harry and me very nearly hit him. And now the safety car is called out after he retired, because Freddie actually collected the Renault and retired from this race, so very unfortunate for him. But now we're all going to take this opportunity to pit and make our one pit stop and go onto the hard tyres. Exit the pit, still in P2 behind Harry and ahead of B-Strong. So yeah, very unfortunate for Freddie, and don't know why there wasn't a safety car with a car with only 2 wheels left on it stopped in the chicane. And let's look at replay now, and it was about here I noticed and realised that there was a car stopped. You can see I almost turned into the DNF car, so very lucky not to do what Freddie done there, but heading on to the end of lap 9 now. Safety cars coming in, just trying to get some heat into the tyres, and weren't really as warm as I wanted them to be, so on this restart I'm going to take it easy for a few corners because I don't want to risk anything with tyres that aren't at their best, but go green now and get a pretty good restart and stay close to Harry. But you saw there through Sandevot, took it pretty easy, especially on the exit, because the rear tyres were a lot colder than I wanted them to be. But anyway, still remain in P2 after the restart, which is really the main thing I was aiming for. As onto the middle of that lap then, as I was saying beforehand, I was taking it easy through here, and gap to Harry was 1.4 going into the back. As we're come up to Raskas now, you can see he's extended the gap by 3 or 4 tenths, so that's how much time I was losing by taking it a bit easier through that section of the track. But we can skip ahead now into lap 11, going through Mirabel down towards the Fairmont hairpin or whatever it's called now. Go a bit wide on the exit, trying to get the throttle on a bit early to rotate the car and hit the outside wall, and could see there have pretty severe damage on the front wing, and yeah, that's not going to be good for us now. As skipping on to the next lap on lap 12, I decide to stay out. You can see how much time I'm losing through the third sector. And I know I was losing a good bit of time before getting the damage, but losing, I think it's around half a second now to Harry ahead, just through that section of the track. And yeah, any other track on the calendar would have pitched straight away to get that damage fixed. But since it's Monaco and it's very hard to overtake, I didn't think I had the pace to beat Harry as it was, so I decided to stay out in pole position and then hopefully be able to just make the Williams the widest Williams there has ever been and keep the cars behind where they are. But you can see here on lap 15, Tweesprong or Christian behind, he isn't really gaining on me too much. He's gained a bit to be within in a second, but I think he actually had damage as well, not as severe as mine. That's why he was able to close in, but that's really helping me having someone else with damage between me and the fully fit cars, for lack of a better term. But lap 15, there's another virtual safety car. I'm not really sure what that was for, but really any laps left that I have to do at full speed is better at this stage. As you can see on lap 18, Harry has pulled out the gap to 11 seconds, and into Mirabel, Johnny Stokes in P4 goes for a move on Christian into the hairpin and makes it stick. So now the rear gunner I had with damage as well is gone, and Johnny's going to be right on the back of me now, putting me under a lot of pressure with his full complement of front wing. We'll skip ahead a lap later now on lap 19, through to back. You can see there the front wing on the track, and at the time I noticed the front wing but I didn't really think much of it. But you could see there that now Harry was in the pits and I've moved into first place, and the front wing was of Harry's Red Bull, so he, with the beat gap, must have lost concentration a bit, went wide and got damaged. And at the moment when I was racing at this time, I didn't realise that I was actually in the lead of the race, so I thought I was still defending for P2, but in reality I was after taking the lead. So I have to say it was very unfortunate for Harry. He was by far the quickest this weekend, but as I said beforehand, better to almost drive at 80% and be a bit slower and not get damaged than drive flat out and get some damage. As now you can see I'm going a bit wide, making a few mistakes, and I was after realising I was after taking the lead by now, and I think the pressure was already starting to get to me a bit, which isn't a good sign with another 19 laps left. But you could see during this lap I was just parking the car in the middle of the road, and if I do that then there's no way that Johnny will be able to get past me. And if you look at my ERS, I have around 50% and I'm only using it when I really need to. Start lap 23, I think that was the closest Johnny got into turn 1. But again, just parked in the middle of the road and there was nowhere he could go to try and make a move. But through Massenet and past the casino into Mirabeau, I'm in the middle of the road, but Johnny, he goes down the inside and I really wasn't expecting that, and I luckily see him just at the last minute, and there wasn't really enough room for him there, and I kind of turned in a bit, but I just didn't realise that the Ferrari was after going for the move. I really wasn't expecting it, and going to look at a replay here now, you can see he gets a good run out of Massenet and Casino Square and goes down the inside, and luckily he doesn't get any damage, and then into the second hairpin he backs out and slots in behind. As onto the end of lap 23, you can see into turn 1 again, he has a bit of a look up the inside but wasn't close enough there, so take the corner normally and still stay in the lead. As you can see that I was still negative by quite a bit on the fuel, and at this point I was starting to think about that a bit much and making a few mistakes. As on the run up Beau Rivage, looking behind, too concentrated on Johnny and tapped the wall, and luckily, pretty much probably because I have no wing left on that side, don't get any more damage. So one positive from the damage that I had, as here now on lap 26 the safety car was called out, and I've managed to hold on since lap I think it was 11 with damage, so not going to pit now and give up the track position I've held for so long. So stay out obviously, and on to lap 28 then. Safety car is coming in, and like with the other safety car restart, very little temperature in my tyres, so frantically trying to get a bit of heat into them but can't get much, and going through Anthony Knowles now. Just as I hit the exit, that's where I decide to go, because it means that the cars behind are still going through the corner, so get a much better run on the straight and into turn 1, hold on to the lead and take it pretty easy with the cold tyres. So on to lap 31 now, into the chicane, take it pretty tidy, but if you look on the map down the corner, there's a yellow flag, and I think Kyle turned in a bit early, the back wheel clipped the barrier and spun him around, and Thierry, I think it was behind, couldn't avoid the spinning racing point and got damaged. So Thierry, who was running well in P5, unfortunately got damaged there and will have to pit to replace his wing, and I think Harry hit the spinning car as well, so double stack of Red Bull, and really couldn't go worse for the two of them, who were doing pretty well in P4 and 5. Well, that brought out another safety car, and really the more safety cars the better for me, because it means less laps of having to defend. But unfortunately for me, it wasn't out for too long, and on the end of lap 33 safety cars in again, and once again just on the exit of the final corner decide to go and get a gap of about half a second to Johnny. So into turn 1, don't have to worry too much and can take it pretty easy once again with the cold tyres. But going to stay on board now for the rest of the race and kind of talk through some of the thoughts I was having. So into here you can see I took pretty much the racing line, because I could see on the delta that Johnny was around 7 tenths behind, so he wasn't close enough to have any kind of a attack into that corner. And out of port here I was always getting really good exits out here, and using the ERS here mainly more than anywhere else on the track, because into the Nouvelle chicane it was one of the best overtaking places Johnny could have. So really just being smart about the ERS usage, using it in the places where it was most effective, and if I saw that Johnny wasn't really that close I wouldn't use it. So might see here through the final turn. On the exit, he's around 3 tenths behind, and I'm using the ERS because I know he's using it to try and get close enough to make a move, but just stay ahead enough and use a bit more on the run up through Beau Rivage, because through this sequence of corners it was where my damage was affecting me the most. And again into Mirabel, taking the racing line because Johnny wasn't close enough once again, as Thierry unfortunately retired from the race. I'm not sure what happened. I think he lost the card through Casino, so very unfortunate for him. But once again, get a good exit out of the port there and through the tunnel, and don't use any ERS, and it allows Johnny to close up but not close enough to make a move, and get a good run through the swimming pool, or not the swim, through the Nova chicane, and gives a bit of a gap through the third sector, which is good to have since it's where I'm weakest on the track with the damage. And I have to say, after doing 20 odd laps with the damage, it sort of felt normal, the way the car felt now. It didn't feel too understeery anymore. You kind of get used to how the car feels, and the hard tyres there don't really go off around this track since there's not too many places to wear them out. Through Casino now, you can see the gap is little low for 3 tenths, so this time I don't take the racing line, I stay in the middle of the track because I felt that there was a chance Johnny might try to make a move. And again into the Fairmont hairpin, I kind of go to the middle as well because I kind of knew how Johnny would be feeling at this stage, getting pretty frustrated being stuck behind me going so slow for so long, because the night before in the F2 race I was the car in Johnny's position, stuck behind someone that was going a lot slower than I felt that I could, and really gets frustrating because there's nowhere that you can overtake without either pushing the car ahead out of the way or risking giving yourself damage. And on to the start lap 37 now, 3 laps left. Again into turn 1, have a good gap and get a good run out of the first turn and into Mirabel. Into Massenet, and then again through the Casino Square. Yeah, nice run, and Johnny, he's 4 tenths behind this time, so can take the normal racing line and don't have to defend for the moment. And through the hairpin, I really don't know how to take that corner. It's probably the worst corner on the track for me, with or without damage. So yeah, I think I was losing a lot of time there. But out of Portier, through the tunnel, get the gap up to about 6 tenths, down into the Nouvelle chicane under no pressure from behind, take it pretty normally. And at this point, not like around lap 15 or whenever it was I took the lead, I was starting to get comfortable with the defending from behind. It was almost normal to be taking weird lines into corners, just making sure that there was no way for Johnny to get past. So onto the penultimate lap now, into turn 1 again, good gap behind. It seemed to be out of the slow corners with where you needed a lot of traction is where I was most comfortable and where I get the gap to Johnny. As into Mirabel this time, gap is 7 tenths, so I don't know if I just got that very right or Johnny made a mistake or his tyres were going off or what it was, but managed to get a good gap there. Out of fourth here, gap is around 6 tenths, and once again get a good exit and get up to around 7 tenths into the chicane. Once again, gap is, it's almost a second at this stage, so I can't remember if I was starting to push at this stage or what was happening, because it's a good few weeks ago now since this race happened. But through Raskas, Johnny gets the gap down. I think it was 4 tenths through the third sector, so I was losing around 4 or 5 tenths through that sector, which obviously wasn't helping, but I was fast in the part of the track where I needed to be. As we're on to the final lap now, and I'm going to leave you to watch the final lap. So we come through the swimming pool chicane for the final time. Since lap 11 with half a front wing, got lucky with Harry having a pit with damage, but since I took the lead, done what I need to do and defended well. We come through the final turn, we're going to come up to the line and win the Monaco Grand Prix and take our first win in F1 Nationals since season 3.
Absolutely amazing. I don't know how you did that. Incredible.
Holy tomorrow. Cheers, boys. Redemption.
So after the start of the season, I've had a lot of bad luck and my own mistakes. It really feels like redemption to finally get first win of the season under the belt, and first one since all the way back in season 3. So feels good to be back on top step of the F1 Nationals podium. Johnny in P2, great race by him. A lot of respect for him not to have done anything stupid, not to just sent it down the inside and hope that it stick, like I think a lot of people would have done in his situation, being stuck behind for so long. And then Joe makes it a Williams 1-3, so great result for the team as well. Well, that's it for this one. Until the next one, thanks for watching. See you then.